to say this to people if I just.
Yes, sir, we're ready.
Now the order asked town clerk to call the roll.
Yes, sir. Molly Angevine,
Here.
Alex Bissett, Dan Gritsko,
Here.
Ron Smith, Bill Heisen, Walter Townsend,
Here.
Roger Whitley.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those who wish to stand. I pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Four general modifications. Anybody have anything to get on the agenda, that's not on the agenda, keeping in mind that you can discuss it, but you can't vote on it till next council meeting. Then we'll go to item 5.
Oh, I just said, and then I was going to say, I have some motions I'd like to make. Do that at the end. I guess. But do we have to discuss the topic in order to make the motion? Yes. So if we were in the working session where we can't make a motion, we talked about it then. And then I make a motion in this meeting because we can't. Then I need to add all of these things to the agenda.
Oh, yeah, we can't vote, we can't make a decision on it tonight, the next month, why don't you just wait, put it on the agenda for next month? And then you'll be able to put it on it the same night, instead of waiting a month.
Okay, well, we were in the work session and you said at the next regular meeting, so we're putting it off another month.
Well, it's not on the agenda, is it?
Well, can I just need to get Jim involved, this is kind of one quick in between would be. If there's some topics you want us to talk about, could add, like, you know.
Oh, I don't have anything to talk about, I was just gonna make the motion.
You can make a motion without a topic.
Well, we were supposed to, but you gotta talk about that for a second.
We talked about it in the work session, but if you wanna talk about it again, we can do that. But not until next meeting, because it's not on the agenda.
On the agenda, we can talk about it, but we can't take a motion.
Molly, if you want to add something to the agenda, just let me
I
know
will let you know.
and I'll put it on there.
We got 3 ways.
I have no idea.
The new law, just. Right?
Yes, it was a brand new law.
Sorry, it's hot.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was very simply, if you make, like, if you add it to the agenda on the night of the regular meeting, you can discuss it, but you cannot vote on it until the next regular meeting.
Well, that's not what you said the last
And
meeting.
it's exactly what I said twice at the last meeting.
Oh, twice, okay,
And
well.
if you read your agenda, VML magazine that you get every month, you will see all the bills that passed and failed. And if you read that, you will see this bill listed as one that passed.
Okay,
Okay, so
you're on your own, nobody's gonna help you.
We're on this, agenda to do that, add that discussion.
we don't have a discussion, we have a topic.
Where you at?
Right now, you want to put one.
With SB, what's the number of it?
Any
59.
other motions for future, any other business for future meetings?
599.
So just put that.
699.
It was Senate Bill 699 that we provided and spoke about
At the
at the
work
last-
session.
at the work session meeting.
I remember reading that.
Yeah.
Can we add a recurring agenda item that's just very vague and open?
Yeah,
That would give us an opportunity to add, you know, maybe not vote on stuff, but to just add in. have
An extra discussion.
conversation.
You have
Okay.
something you want to add to the agenda, you may add that, but you cannot vote on it until next month.
Mhm.
It requires a vote, we discussed it. So instead of saying you want to make a motion, if you have a topic that you want to add to the agenda, let us know what it is now, we can talk about it tonight. Or next month, get it on the agenda in time to be published, and then we'll talk and vote on it. But you know, it's, blue make motions for something that's not on the agenda.
Okay, so you don't remember our conversation from the work session?
I remember it clearly, I explained things. I told you you could not vote at the work session.
Yeah, I know that's.
All right.
Mhm.
So what's so hard to understand about it, if you want to put it on the agenda, like the topic, you can do that, you can discuss it, like you just can't. All right, so difficult to understand.
Well. I'm talking about what you told me in the last meeting. If you don't think that's what you said, then.
I told you at the last meeting, you could not vote, we did not vote, we did not make motions at the work session.
And you didn't say, we can do it on the next meeting because it's a regular town council meeting. Okay,
You have to have a topic in order to make a motion.
well, yeah, now I know that.
Well,
Thank you so much.
if you read Robert's rules, you understand these things, that's
Then
what.
I'm gonna upset Alex, because I'm gonna ask about the financial figures, so you just can't win.
Well, I think we'll have something new business, agenda, then it could be for next month,
So
so.
if I put it on the agenda and it's a topic, then we have to talk about it and then wait till the next month?
No, you can, if it's on the agenda, then you may have a motion to vote at that meeting.
At a regular session.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well,
It,
what was that?
it is new legislation.
Virginia sets the rules, that comes under the Dillon rule, that we have to do what the state says.
Okay.
Have you read the Dillon rules? Probably not.
Why did you say that? That's really
You
insane.
would know this already.
Ron, just back down.
Item that you wanna add to the agenda, yes or no?
No, I do not.
Okay, then hush. Anybody else?
Like to have new business to the agenda, anytime there's new business, we can consider it for next month. And
Okay.
at the end of the meeting, we used to do that, I think you say, okay,
You have an item you wanna add?
yeah, and, new motions and, yeah, well, yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I say we're gonna,
what is it?
those two, one is, I'm not sure, it might be built in there, minutes for the, for all the minutes to be approved and posted by all committees. And the other one I want is, I'm not sure if you need, approval, but, maybe it would take place, but, we have a monthly, financial report, and an explanation of it too.
Good. And do you wanna discuss any of that tonight, or you just want it on the agenda
Oh.
for next month, so we can discuss it then, and then if it needs a vote, on something, we'll vote.
Well, we could, maybe that's stuff we can discuss, but, yeah, either way, do it next month.
I think we seem to discuss the financial aspect of the slave well last at the work session, but we can certainly begin on it tonight. Okay, did the clerk get those two items?
Yes, sir.
So now we go on the consent agenda with the two items that Bill mentioned and two. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So, second.
And is there is a second, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I would want to make a comment because I understand there are new rules from the state that went into effect July 1st. Those new rules made a new change, with the new change. That's, in other words, it's a change, fine. We just need to take whatever Councilor Angela wants, whatever you want, Mr. Mayor. I just wanna make sure that we should be an example of civility to the town and not, be rough to each other, so all that to say. I suggest as we do this, that if we misunderstand, if there's a misunderstanding, someone else clear it up. And in that regard, I think whatever we do in terms of having modifications, we want to be as transparent as possible. Is the bottom line.
Well, I will add to that and say, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I misunderstood you. You must
Sorry, I
have been
wasn't
clear about the rules and I didn't understand.
Sorry, that was not clear. All right, so we got those two items at the end of the agenda.
Yes, sir.
So public forum, the town administrator, Bill and myself will be meeting in the next couple of weeks to talk about the upcoming renewal of the scan lease. If you have anything you'd like to ask, thanks.
Yeah, maybe I can bring in 11.
Comment. comment along the theme.
I'll try to
song.
I'll try to, you can help me sing. Last Friday, I was singing a song for the scam campers and I was informed I was not a good singer. Ouch.
Okay.
Thankfully, it was only a verbal. Yes, I thought I'd give a little history lesson on this building. I don't know, Walter, you grew up here. Do you remember when this was a full theater? You might not, because I think they gutted it, what, in the 70s? It's okay, your dad would do. Anyway, after the two floods, Agnes and Camille, the town fathers who did not sit here, they sat, not quite sure where they sat. But they decided to gut this building. And they needed a fire department, and so they gutted it. And put the second floor in. And parked the fire trucks downstairs. You remember that, don't you, Walter?
I did.
And then when they raised the funds to build the firehouse, the fire department moved out and the rescue squad moved in. Then when the rescue squad got their new facility down on Route 6, rescue squad moved out and the Horseshoe Bend Players moved in. And also in this time frame, Bobby Spencer organized the wheel remodel. And this was perhaps one of the most important moves to start renovating the space downstairs to put it back to the building's intended use as a theater. Some of the repairs they did was the green rooms. Well, the two dressing rooms had dirt floors. There was vegetation actually growing up under the back walls into that space. So that was cleaned up and concrete was poured. In the, what is now the green room on the original stage to this building, you could walk back and there were holes in the floor, you could see the creek. The remodeling committee fixed that. They added the wall separating the lobby from the theater floor. They really didn't do anything to make the theater into a more, what do I say? It didn't look really like a theater, it was just a black box with TV sighting anyway. I don't have to go into all that. The Horseshoe Bend Players had, I don't even know if they had a lease, but the town actually rented it to them for $1 a year, which is basically standard for arts organizations and environmental agencies to work together. I'm not gonna ask you that because when SCAN started leasing, we felt that we should pay because it's not our space, it's a town's, and that we needed to support the town in whatever way we could, but I think the original lease was $400. Anyway, I bring this up because not about the lease amount, but since 1999, 2000, between the Theater Remodeling Committee and SCAN and the arts community that's in this region, not just the town of Scottsville, but Buckingham, Urbana, and Southern Albemarle. I'm certain if I were to look at everything that's been spent down there by the arts community, it's tens of thousands of dollars to invest. So my intent here tonight is to give a basic history of what has gone on down there since 2000. And SCAN's commitment to keeping that space, not just for plays and music and art classes, but we've also gone back in the history of the building because, they used to do the Scottsville pageant, back in the 40s down there, and now we're doing the Scottsville pageant. So we view it not just as an art space, we truly view it as a community space for this area, not just Scottsville, but Urbana, Buckingham, and so on. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I think some of you probably don't realize that. And also, I think knowing the history, even though the one I just gave was pretty basic and, you know, it's a sketch, not really that, but I do know that this town bought the building, I believe, in 1930 from the original Victory Hall Committee. I mean, it was privately built by the residents of Scottsville and the surrounding area. And the town bought it from them, I believe it was 1930, for $5,000. And Skean is more than willing to pay you $5,000 for it. Anyway. Thank you.
You know, the audience wishes to
Thank
speak.
you, Nancy.
I would if I have a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Wanted to say, even though I wasn't there, last weekend, or the last Fridays, I
Nancy.
heard there was a few, town council members and staff that attended the, Fridays on the canal, and thank you for showing your support. Sound like a good event. There, is a couple of things that I wanted to, work on with the town, and, I think in the email earlier today, we talked about setting up a meeting. Don't need to necessarily do that now, I can send an email later and set something up, but just think Thursday, if that's okay. One of the things I think the town lawyer sent a letter about the music rights. And I just wanted to bring that up real quick because we have looked into getting the CSAC license ourselves. It's way more expensive for us to do. We have to get it for each individual event. We would like to have the town purchase it, and as long as they're promoting the events, we can have the events under that umbrella. We can talk about reimbursing the town, but I think officially the town has to write the check, and we can vote as a chamber on reimbursement, which I think we would. So that's something I want y'all to be on your radar why if it comes to a vote that why it's on there. And then some other logistical stuff we can talk about during the meeting. That was the main thing. I think it's more important now than ever. I don't know if you saw in the email that one of the little kids got up and sang with the main singers, and apparently that's gone viral, whatever that exactly means. I don't know the exact numbers, but yeah, I think it's 35,000, some like our shares, and some 330,000 likes. I don't know what all that means, but I think it probably puts us under a little bit more scrutiny as a town. Young boys singing the song, not exactly what organization that particular song falls under. Something we should probably check on.
Oh, yeah.
I did bring the pole banner rentals to our last chamber meeting, and I wouldn't say that there was any people jumping at the idea, but nobody turned their nose up at it. I think everybody was like to see some more information about like what. I think there's probably some interest out there worth exploring. If y'all wanted to continue down that route, I'll share or get the information out. And then finally, we changed our meeting where we usually do it in the mornings at our insurance. Try and accommodate some new potential board members or even more local business owners. We're going to move it to the Red Rose Pub upstairs at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday the 11th. Obviously, everybody here is welcome to come, but wanted to give you that update because we're thinking maybe it's a little bit more convenient than first thing in the morning. I know some folks
Thursday the
make it a little bit
11th.
more difficult, but we're going to try it out for one meeting.
I'll get them.
I never said forward, but in reality, that's not really a logical time, but the average person has a job, most people work till 5:30, whatever. If you have a meeting, those hours, I know you're trying to bring in more people, but with that time slot, at the very limited amount you can do it again. My suggestion is look at the common sense view, maybe put it up a little bit later in the evening. Unless it's gonna disrupt the business at whatever, but 6 or 7 o'clock sometimes would be to me, you would think if you want more input from the outside people. Make the time a little more acceptable. I mean, in today's time, most people cannot get out of work. And take off early to attend something like that.
We're thinking some of the local businesses that are closing around 3:30 or so, or might be able to have somebody step in for the last hour. Really step out for a meeting. But we'll give it a go. I'll bring that up as a suggestion, see what people say to that. I think in general, most folks are not as willing, as you can see, to give up family time, family dinners, and stuff like that. But I will bring it up as
Evening, all for dinner than it is a couple hours of work.
for some now. Anyway, but I will bring it up as another option. We're just exploring options, see what works, and we'll find a happy medium eventually. But that was all I.
One question for you related to the idea of the reimbursement if the town covers the music license. Would you say, I don't know, I don't remember the detail, it's how much less expensive is it that way, like that's.
I think it's between $600 and $700 versus close to $1,200.
So about half.
That seems like a pretty obvious thing if there's a way to work someone out. I mean. Obviously, if the chamber's covering it, and we're pass through, that's much preferred.
And this is CSAC, right?
Yeah.
Somebody want to participate, they can always make a donation towards the town scott, put in the donation for the music license or whatever. So therefore, it's a donation, we get, use the tax write off or whatever, and then the town can, that would be considered a reimbursement or whatever. You have people outside the county that if they wanna help that. Canal basin for the Friday after 5, whatever you call it. That's a simple way to put out, you wanna help them, take a donation.
Sounds good.
Maybe next year is gonna be different budget, because it sounds like it's a budget.
There's an events item that y'all approved for 10,000, and I don't think that's all been used yet, so I don't know all the details of what that money's planned for, so I don't want to overstep my. But that was the only place that I knew about. And I believe the lawyer was recommending to keep up with the one license that she did have, and that was BMI. And we asked if there was any benefit to the town. They were much more strict about it needed to be separate. That wasn't a huge one, I think, for y'all or us, so that was all covered. And then ASCAP, I think, is difficult as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So other than the meeting, we have our next meeting, the Fridays on the canal, and then Wine Fest coming up in the fall that we're working on getting back closer, but yeah, not any major updates to that.
What?
Oh, Molly joined the chain.
I did.
Yeah. So she's gonna be.
So you can join in on the other.
No, it's an
We have an
individual.
individual membership opportunity. We wanted to make that available to individuals in the community. Of course, it's like $25 or something.
Mm,
I think it's more like 40.
oh, yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, so I wanted to, be able to connect with the businesses. And talk to them about their needs and stuff like that, as well as doing some of the kind of hard work that they do over there. It's been really great, so.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, James.
And next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. We'll detail all those minutes. And 15th, you want to second, about the name. Have a motion to approve the minutes. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussions?
I just thought they were excellent. Good job.
Thank,
Got a lot early, so I like. You know,
I'm trying to get them right, yeah.
for the meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, before the meeting, absolutely.
All okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Item B is one that I have put on there, Thank you. A few comments for over to the administrator. But a government service committee, there's been several council members that have expressed concern, some of the actions of the government services committee. Look back at the original order. Here. Says the government service committee designed to assist town administrator for the benefits of the citizens. And last view that something happening. First of all, we don't have any citizens going. Good now.
Should be that, it should be that on the. Visitor.
Sure.
Sounds.
Yeah, well, you're the only number that.
Right.
I thought the committees could take people.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to have the majority.
It's that you don't have citizens of the town serving on a committee, and you've got outsiders calling the shots, you might not get as much of an effective representation because you don't aren't neighbors. We had as everybody knows, in the last fiscal year, when town administrator disappeared 3 weeks before I thought he was gonna be gone. And then that dumped everything on the town clerk. And then as we found out the town clerk, they made some errors and mistakes. So when our new town administrator came in, she had a real mess up in her lap. Fortunately, she was able to get some help from Mr. Payne. And then Ms. Wade came in part-time to help too. And we are glad to have both of them as full-time employees now. But it seems like ever since we got our new town administrator, the government services committee has only focused on trying to micromanage town government. They pick every little thing apart. They criticize actions of both town administrator and the town clerk. And they're not living up to their mission of advising and helping town administration to provide services for the citizens. All they're focused on is something like it's micromanagement of the town. So.
Well, that's strong. Let's agree
I'm
with that.
talking,
Okay, I'll counter everything you said. All right.
The thing that really brought me to put this on the agenda was the last 7 minutes from town government services committee, where they advocate for discussing the dissolution of the town, working with Albemarle County to form a big town of 3,500 people.
No, you got the wrong minutes.
Well, we talked about it, or we wouldn't send it out.
Oh, that was a draft. That's not, I got the minutes right here. That's not.
This is what was sent out. The Government Service Committee recommends that the town council discuss. And then it said recommends the town start negotiations with Albemarle County, future Scottsville government. And under Virginia laws, new towns, cities must have a population of 3,500. And it claims that the town is grandfathered in this place. And to make a long story short, the town administrator made a concerted effort to research this thoroughly, and that can't happen. But to me, the mere fact that you have someone, a committee that's supposed to be representing the interests of the citizens, suggest that the town dissolve and become part of the county is it verges on heresy. And so, for those reasons, I would hope to to hear a motion. And there's a couple of choices here. One is to just resolve the government services committee. The other is put them on hiatus for about 6 months until they can decide how they can best help the town rather than try to micromanage and criticize everything the town administration does. So with that, I'll ask the town administrator if she has anything she would like to add to that before I call for a motion.
The only thing that I would, add is I think for a town of so few, I wrote down 520. I don't believe that we need a, standing government services committee acting as a, shadow council. And I think the council here and the charter officers are fully capable of handling the issues directly and transparently in our regular meetings without a parallel group adopting. Or I agree with the mayor. I feel like a lot of times it's been undermining the town from the outside. So that's all I have to say about it.
I'm calling for a motion before we can have any discussion.
What kind of motion are you wanting, Mr. Chairman?
Well, as I explained, I wanted to just do away with government services committee or put them on an inactive status for 6 months until they come up with a plan to actually help the citizens of the town, rather than criticize the government, and micromanage the government of the town.
I think that would be better for all of us involved. Because it sounds a little fishy that you'd be dissolving a committee that was criticized.
And we are, the town council established a committee, the town council can get rid of the committee.
Okay, real quick.
We have a little, we have more discussion, before we can vote. I would like to, say a moment there,
Oh, it,
say something, if I have.
Okay, all right, so we'll throw the rules out the window and we'll have discussion.
Okay. Well, first of all, Mr. Mayor, town council and administrators. I've been thinking about this a long time. I actually sent out an email earlier this month because I was unable to get the work session. I want y'all to know that, first and foremost, we are all elected officials. And my promise to the constituents of Scottsville is to vote, lead, and help us town and in a way that I feel is most beneficial for the town of Scottsville. That being said, to mirror on some of the stuff that the mayor did say, yes, the government services committee was created by the town council. Several years ago, we had a lot of people on the government services committee that was really making a difference. Yeah, put in a lot of suggestions, had the ball rolling and everything. In the last several years, I've noticed there's been a decline of people that have left the committee and no longer on there. So I'm just gonna read some of the stuff that I sent in that email and because I was gonna have it read out, but so I'm not pleased with the recent minutes of the government services committee.
What the whole system?
No. I was just saying if I was to have it read out. So give me a minute, I'll let you respond on it. So I'm not pleased with the recent minutes of the government services committee. I believe the committee does not represent town of Scottsville in its best interest. Recent behavior of certain committee members in my time as a councilor and the government services committee has not made any good recommendations for the town and have been acting in an oversight fashion for which is not the way the committee was designed to be. Committee was designed to be an advisory committee, send suggestions, let us know what way, not to come in and meetings and say, this is what you gotta do with your money, this is how you spend that money, this is whatever. And the other thing, bottom line, I mean, Council Vice, I don't know if you feel like that, I'm putting this on, you have to understand that you are the voice of the government services committee. From what I've seen, my personal thing, I've seen that it's been a personal attack on the government services committee that I'm benefit. When I have petitioners in town, Scottsville come and say, hey, how come we're not making any progress? How come we haven't done this? Why don't we feel like we're, we're going 2 steps forward and 5 steps back? It's because we have people who are trying to tell the town how to run and not work with it. And one of the questions I want to ask you, and I'll give you the opportunity to answer after I finish what I have to say. I would like for you to name 3 things that the government services have recommended to the town of Scottsville that actually got implemented within the last 3 years. The other thing is, the other thing is, we have members of the government service committee. A member of the committee, not from the town council, go approach businesses, question them about the delinquent payments to the town. I don't ever remember any discussion among the town council authorizing anyone other than the mayor or the town administrators to go speak with the business on any type of delinquent things to do with the town. I believe the government services members, tried to go a step above and become an oversight committee. We do not need an oversight committee, it was an advisory committee. I believe you all belong to site. And you do not have the interest of the town to compete for any better. I have not yet had one person in the town come up to me and say, you know what? We need to question what that town administrator is doing. I'm not sure she knows what she's doing. I have never, I've always heard it from government services committee and some of the other members on the town council. I'm not happy with what I've seen. And in good faith, as a councilor and being elected by the town of Scottsville, I cannot sit up here and say that I think it's a good idea for the government services committee to exist. I do want to make a motion to dissolve the government services committee. I believe in from what I've seen, this is from my standpoint, the town administrator and the mayor and the vice mayor have worked very well together to do a job. When we stop this, we cannot get anything done because things are not the way y'all feel. So, that being said, I did want to make a motion to dissolve the government services committee.
Is there a second? There's been moved and seconded, now you have all this discussion.
Just to be clear, Christopher, he just said there was a motion, he made a motion.
You made a motion.
Alex seconded it.
So now,
Disband the
before
committee.
it's open
Well,
to anyone who has further discussion. So,
yeah, let me go. First of all, I understand that certain behaviors of some of the members may not be appropriate. But you're new, so you don't know what's been going on with the government.
No, I know that's changing.
Okay, but that's recent. I'm talking about the years.
I know my second to the town council member.
Okay, you've been here 3 or 4 years. And you haven't been following minutes, have you? Have you been reading minutes?
I read minutes, I read back at state emails and everyone else.
Okay, which ones don't you like? What don't you like? What do you like?
And it's clear, the budget, when y'all sit there and say that you feel like the town of Scottsville should just go ahead and just drop this county, drop them off.
Okay, let me start with that. Okay, first of all, that was a draft. And that was edited. That was. Here's what it was. Here's what it was. No, it was not sent.
Well, then how did you get a copy of it from what you sent?
The town minister sent. She's part of the committee.
How did she get it?
Because she's part of the committee. She's part of the committee.
She's got
Let me say what the minutes said, when it's correct, it was corrected, it was, somebody misspoke or did said it, well, you could dissolve the committee with 3,500. Here's what it says. The government service committee recommends the town council discuss with Long County the future of Scottsville in the future. If it could not fulfill its functions, it could not exist. The council should negotiate before the disbandment of the town, so the town assets will remain in Scottsville to benefit the town and not disperse Albemarle County. Exactly include monies to the check account, police fire department, and town. They just said they just wanted to do that. That was when I questioned that too. When I asked about that, it was just the idea was they don't want it to go like the fire department, where Albemarle County comes in and rolls over. But anyway, that I want to respond to. And everybody's invited to the meetings, anybody's been invited, and we get more members from the community, and I think it's great. But over the years, to me, I've been impressed with, especially Scott's, our chairman is so good and so level headed. And so, and he does minutes, and he doesn't have an agenda, that's for sure, but some of the things that we mentioned about some of the things he did. 3 or 4 years ago, the government service committee had been looking at the budget for years. And it also looks at, capital improvement projects. But it looks at the monthly expenses. They discovered, I don't know if you were here then, but they discovered that towns losing $80,000, $100,000 on the DMV. And they advised that we look into that. And as a result of that, that's one of the major things that they did. The town eliminated the DMV and saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. The DMV was not serving the community. It was serving the community in many ways, but it was draining the community. That's one of the things. The recent ads that I sent out, they helped revamp the website years ago. This website was really needed, and now we revamped it twice. They did that. They created a capital improvement project budget. Just the one that was for the last, that has nothing to do there. That was working with the police and look at the capital improvement project that was set out. They helped with the boards and committees. They also helped with maintenance and capital improvements projects. So they did a lot. I could go on and on, but recently there has been some critiques. I mean, the one thing they critiqued, and I think it has been, they critiqued the idea of surveillance by the town, just on private buildings. So they brought that up. So that might have been a touchy issue, but to me, that's totally wrong. It's totally wrong that we should be spying on. Yeah. There was pictures of people.
Well, who had the money for the
No. It's the town administrator, and she had the town maintenance person that's showing the camera. Were you here for that when that happened? Yeah. Okay, but anyway, I don't know. I think that there's going to be more inclusive, and it always has been. George was on it. Eddie was on the committee. We did public safety. The chief was kind of on it too. When we did that, our mission may even change. But I've always felt like government service had too many functions. If you look at what they do, they do everything from finances to committees and they're just an advisory committee. But anyway, I just totally disagree that it's misrepresented. If you do that, I would talk to the chairman and he went to S&P Stats. He went and researched the Caldwell Fund and found out what the history of that and how that was misused, or not misused, but it wasn't being tracked. So that whole thing, I mean, a lot of these things, you pick and choose a few topics that are touchy, but over the course of I've been out, I guess 4 years or so, they've had some great suggestions and been invaluable in providing advice. Some of these maintenance things that came up with, I was part of that. I'm a firm believer that this is a good committee for trying to get maintenance done, because there are things that need to be done. It's time we have to figure out a way to do it. One of the ones was about the signs, and somebody from the public moved about the signs. So maybe you're touched by a couple of things that a couple of the members might have done that.
Well, I don't think it's really bothered to the fact that I don't mind, I'm on my years of town council.
Yes. I know she's anyway. Well, I can see it. You want to wait for Bill? Yeah. Well, I do go ahead.
I was just going to say that, I understand where the Hudson coming from, that he said that there's the members of the government service committee have a lot to offer. And my 2 years as secretary of council, I have not yet received One member of the government services committee show up, that's Mr. Goodson. I've never seen Mr. Real, I've never seen Matthew Hope, and I've never seen any other members of the government services committee at any meeting, work session or regular session. And I've been to every work session, thing.
Mr. Thompson, hold on. Now,
I'm like, what is this?
So I think that beyond any behavior or malpractice, whatever we want to say, whatever we discussed already, the two things that are just functionally important to point out here in considering dissolving this committee. The first being, the committee has a charter and it's not following that charter specifically. If they want to change their charter, maybe that's something to do. They do. That's not my point, is they aren't following the current charter. The second thing is that they don't have any mechanism for action in their committee, which is fine, that's how it's supposed to be. But I don't see how their committee can't just be addressing the town council in public forum. Because as Councilor Angeline pointed out, we don't wanna get rid of people criticizing the town council. I don't think that's the intent behind this motion. But if they have something to criticize the town about, the public forum is the best place to do that. And I think everything that they have to put forward to the council over the last couple of years can be done during the public forum. And they can meet whenever they want as individuals. I don't know if the town has to have a committee.
you were gonna say something.
I'll ask the question. How long has the government services committee existed?
1996.
All right.
Well, actually, that's not accurate, Mr. Mayor. It's only in this recent form, I think it's just 4 years. We didn't have one for a long time.
I guess,
July 1996.
yeah.
I mean,
I think it's
Bobby says,
it's increased commissions, but
All right, so that,
yeah, it's been
But that's, I'm gonna say it again, there were many committees they did not do. Any committee that did nothing.
it's been going to something.
Maybe they have economic development. One of the main issues.
so, all right, so that, how do people get appointed onto the board? Because we have appointments.
That's not what the board said.
Oh,
And
okay.
then just
Anybody said, we'll take some.
somebody raised their hand and said, hey, chair,
Or they, that's.
I'd like to know.
Right, that's what you.
How many new members have come on board last time here?
Let's see. Well, Eddie was there, I'm not sure if you go back that far, Eddie was there, and everybody was there, and George got on after, Kevin Quick left. And,
The rolls over.
yeah, there's some roll
Yeah,
over.
that's a good
We'll take
point.
more.
I agree with what the mayor was saying, one thing I would say that I don't consider people, Scottsville, live in Scottsville. The people who influence me, it's also people outside of town, because they, can't help, they don't, Scottsville.
I don't think
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
said that same.
Yeah, but I also, that's on the point I disagree with you. But there's an election coming up, and I think about 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, they might resolve
Elections do things, change, people sitting up here.
Well, it's how it's up, because I won't be the liaison.
Well, that's my point, things exist.
There's no way for us to take it
So we
on.
wanna take the nuclear option here, or you just wanna wait, but
Yeah.
see what happens.
Somebody might want to take it on.
Somebody. I think
I would.
But am I talking out of school here? I push the bill, and my advice, you're not on it, right?
No.
Right, so, I mean, we're gonna have some changes.
I'm sorry about that.
Absolutely. Don't see.
But,
But, I mean, why don't we take the nuclear option here, where you had the election for 13 weeks?
Well, it takes the vote to reestablish. committees.
Does it? I mean,
Yeah.
That's a little harder to do.
well, we.
I have a second vote, and you don't have to have a first.
Do need to revise that whole committee.
And I agree with the things I heard from the government service committee. Why was I getting an email ever talking about this solution of the town?
Well, that's over
That's like,
the top, that's over the top.
that's way over the top.
Well,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen if we
It's
don't
something
get
else,
it?
yeah, it's like, I understand the government services committee over time, don't have good things, but. We could drop a loop here.
But, one of the things.
I'm all about stuff. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Whitley.
And,
I did.
and I think, this became a one meeting, but It's open to everybody, it's,
And
we used to
there
have,
were-
we had 3 times for that, and we all go, I didn't force that.
There were 4 people there when I went to the
Yeah.
meeting.
Right, but I mean, you can't have 3 councils there, but when Eileen forced that, one of us would have to step aside, and she did a handicap thing, they took on that. So they, the whole handicap parking,
ADA.
she was in charge of that, and she, so then that's where they started the committee. I would encourage everybody to actually go with these. And I'll step out and just see what's there and add your 2 cents.
I'm gonna follow up, thank you, Mr. Heisen. I have been trying to hear what everybody had to say, because I have pretty strong opinions on the subject. I have heard many people say that the government services attempts to run the town as a shadow government. I've heard that, not from one, not from 2, I've heard it, and I've heard it for a number of years, that the people have said to me that they run it as a shadow government. And that, to me, is highly disturbing, because we are here as elected town councilors. I do agree with Mr. Whitley, we have an election coming up, and as to me, the Government Services Committee is a significant source of malfunction in our town. That does not mean everybody on the committee has ill intentions. But I do think what you say, Mr. Whitley, does make sense, that with an election coming up, we can all be, those of us can be voted in, voted out, and very well, we may be. But in terms of this issue, I do think it's something, Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you brought our attention to it. Mr. Townsend, I'm really glad that you shared your concerns, because I've shared some of those same concerns. I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've seen it behind the scenes. It's been just bad for our town in a lot of ways, and I say that openly. Did they do good things for the town? Yes, they also do good things for the town. That's why I like what Mr. Whitley says, that in terms of us, as you mentioned, the nuclear option, it seems as though as we represent the town, as we serve as people of the town, the people of the town, I do think it's their decision in terms of how do we best deal with a renegade committee. And the renegade committee has been what I have seen, as I'm remiss to say that, but I would say that it has been, not everybody on there has the intention of, that some people on there have the best interest of the town, I assume, and what they do. So I'm not questioning the motives, I'm questioning what the committee actually has done. So that said, I think I would not be in favor of what you refer to as the nuclear option, as much as I have a trouble with the committee. And in other words, I think your point is a good one, that as much as the committee, I would say as a recommendation to you, Mr. Heisen, if we don't take the nuclear option, meaning dissolving the committee today, I do think the committee should take this discussion as a review to the committee. It is a review. In other words, it is you guys need to clean up your act, because it's not a clean act. And multiple people up here. I mean, I could vote tonight and say disband the committee, we could have 3, the mayor would vote for it. We already have 2 votes, I could be the 3rd. And to me, be the one being in the position of not nuking them is only out of me trying to represent the needs of the town. I would happily nuke it, but I would not nuke it, because I feel like we have a responsibility to the people to allow them to make their own vote. But I would say to you, the committee should stand in a position to say, I think the council is saying, we don't do this the way you're doing it right now. Please change. Please change the way that you do your research, communicate with this community, the things that are said. There are some that have already been shared tonight. I mean, some of the people who have spoken are not the most expressive, not the most strongest to take a position, so I will just say again. At the moment, I recommend we don't do it, but I do think the committee should take it. As a severe rebuke of this town council to this committee, that it has done. A lot of things that have not helped the town, that is negative to the town.
It's interesting, maybe a few of them have, but I think overall, looking at the negative, they used to say that about the planning commission was a shadow committee. They put their voice down and advise and sometimes criticize, but on the whole, look at the recent minutes, look at all the positive things they've done, These are some good suggestions, improve the website, help with the levy, capital improvement projects. Maintenance, the budget. These are oversights that the town doesn't do. They save the town a lot of work by doing some things in the background. I really think a lot of people just really don't understand what they do. Maybe, they're looking at the negative. I do really think you ought to get the sheriff out and he could. He's as solid as they go, and he's never try to manage the town. He just breaks down this things that are discussed, and he's really sharp at finance.
Bill, why don't you invite him to come speak?
I will.
I don't see this as an election issue. And that's just my opinion, which is what it's been pitched as tonight.
He's just saying that it's.
I do think that if that's gonna be what we make this, I think we should still take some sort of action tonight. Walter, would you be willing to amend your motion to say let's shelve this committee until we have the election?
Because he's. Well,
Well,
we're wanting to be here.
before I ask that question, Mr. Hodgson, you said the key word, not 15 words ago. You said the word oversight. And that's exactly what the whole committee is going to say. Oversight. Basically, it's like, you look up the definition of the 5-year oversight, 2 different words, 2 different meanings and whatever. I appreciate what you've done as a council for the town of Scottsville. I appreciate your time and effort that the members of the government services committee has done. Thank you for the time and effort. Maybe somewhere along the way, y'all idea and ideology just somehow did not align with the town of Scottsville. Only thing I can say is, and good faith to the town of Scottsville. As a council, being voted by the, I cannot sit here and say it's okay for the town to go on with government service committee. Because if I say it's okay, then I'm going back on my word against the constituents. I promised them I'd do the best I could do to help move this town forward. Keep the government service committee, in my opinion, and hold the town back. We have been struggling non-stop, constant victims, back and forth, back and forth. It's time to go forward. Let's take a step forward, stop taking a step back. The question is, I just strongly believe we should go ahead and just dissolve the government service committee. And then again, after the election, if we decide that we need to have some type of committee that does something similar in an advisory committee, let's do it again. But for the time being, what we have, let's get it off the plate.
I just have one comment, and that is, Walter, I really appreciate what you do, but I think you're talking to a specific group of constituents. And your statement is saying that no one's telling you that there's any problem with the town administrator. And I don't think that's fair to say, because you.
Can I interrupt, please?
If
If we're gonna talk about my work, we need to go into closed session because I'm not gonna have that for the 3rd or 4th time on open mic. Okay.
Do you all understand that, you work for us?
I understand that,
And I need
but-
you to take your snotty tone and bring it down, please.
I'm asking that if you're going to talk about my job duties and descriptions and what I've been doing here, it needs to go into closed session,
So-
not in an open
So it's
session.
okay that he was talking about how no one's been talking ever about you, but then when I say, well, I've been talking to plenty of people about the town administrator.
I'm not answering that. I don't know the answer to that. I'm telling you that you cannot.
Group of people.
I'm just telling you, we all have different constituents that we work with. You're not the only group in the town.
People reach out to me, they call me,
They
they
reach
give me
out
a
to
bunch
me
of,
too.
I'm out and about, and everything, so, you know. I don't just sit around and bring it up to the teams and stuff.
Well, you guys have not, well, okay. Great, I'm done.
Like you said, before the years, mayor, and even Ron, it's just that, why doesn't the government chief say that? I don't think that, I don't think that. And even last meeting through this, about down who's product, everybody agreed that they should do that. If we want to go through that, this project, he did that, Tom did that exact thing with police chief, what? So it's saying to everybody, you know, keep the meeting. You know, we could spend hours going over the issues of the government service. I just think that it maybe need to redefine mission and maybe be more inclusive, get some more members. But I think, you know, the advisory part of that committee is valuable because they have some time to do that. Just like the Caldwell file, you know, Scott Lumber, he went through every file to find which ones were, when it was used 13 times and stuff like that. Really research that. Is the town council want to do that and see what the history of that is? No, and over, you know, back several years ago, they worked with the town administrator when they revised the website and helped Javier to, you know, manage that. I mean, they've done a lot of things over the years. The finances too, you know, go on and on. I think maybe they. The too, I think that you know, hurt people, but I just don't think that's just to say, okay, there's one bad thing, so let's forget about the 50 good things they did. You know, go back and look at those minutes. Most of those things had nothing to do with this thing. They're just provide good suggestions. But I would like to. I think before you do that, I think you need to bring the chair in there and say and explain to them what's going on, and not just pull the rug out from him. He's put his heart into this. You know, he was nominated for a year ago for Citizen of the Year. He was one of the nominees. I mean, he's professional. He's smart. He's so responsible, and I just feel like that would be a blow to him. And maybe some of the other committees too, would just say, okay, well, we didn't like a couple things you said, so we're just eliminating.
I've got a question. So this, we'll call it a review from the town council tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think that will be a surprise to the members of the government services?
A couple of them, well, I think we've already talked about some of
Some.
no, not all, it's the me. I think it's stop. I think he's above board all the way. This guy's, I don't know if anybody's met him. So it's a great guy. He's sharp. You know, he's always welcoming. He's always I would hesitate to just do that impulsively.
I'm just gonna say this, Council Benson. The longer you talk, you're moving me from being somebody who's not planning to vote on this to being new to this, so I'm simply saying to you, I'm planning to abstain. But you're more that you, because you have just convinced me you didn't hear a word I said, and so and because of that. You're moving me close to that position, and in other words, what I'm saying to you is, this council, a number of people up here have said to you. There's great concern with what's happened with government services, and not everything that they've done, not every person in the committee. But it has been said by a number of people that it operates like a shadow government.
I never heard that.
But you've heard it, you just heard it from me. And I've heard it, well, it's the first time you've ever heard it.
Well, how come they didn't come to this committee and say that?
I will say again to you. This town council is trying to beg you to take that message back, okay? And I'm saying to you, you have a choice right now. Do you want me to vote to abstain, or do you want me to vote to nuke the committee? Because I'm close I'm willing,
Watch this, abstain.
I'm willing to abstain.
I watch the vote no. With an open mind.
No,
Why would
But I
you?
think you've already locked in.
what, the reason, what I'm saying to you is. You have just convinced me to vote yes, so you've just convinced me.
I issue, vote no.
So Dan, why are you gonna abstain?
I was going to abstain basically because I feel like at the moment, right now as council, I don't want to leave that, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't support the model this, there's no way I would vote no on this. And I will just say, what I've heard from Councilor Heinz is because of his lack of getting this message, I am now a yes. I'll just say, you just moved me to a yes.
But you were last year this time, or 2 years.
I've seen this, no, I've seen it for years. I've seen it for years, yes, and I've seen it, I've had it expressed to me for years. So I'm simply saying to you, I'm a yes, you've moved me to yes.
Okay.
So let's vote.
One thing, and that is Bill did not realize any of this was gonna happen. He came in here pretty cold on the information that he has for you all. He just got a call from his wife. For God's sake.
She thought it was boring. No, it's still.
Yeah, I get it. But that's still a reminder of what you're dealing
No,
with.
that's not.
So I just feel like maybe all needs.
That's not. No. Okay. You've got to vote what they want to vote, I guess.
Yeah.
I just think they, like, the time. I also, it really looked at the history of it and included the chair of this and know the ins and outs of this over the years. Or even over the last year.
Bill,
No, you don't even read the minutes.
they know. Let's vote and be done.
Okay, I think we got, it's hard to repeat our discussion. We'll close the discussion and we'll ask the clerk to call.
Molly and Vine.
Could you give me the question, please?
Service committee, so.
No.
All right. Alex Bissett,
Yes.
Dan Gritsko,
Yes.
Bill Heisen, Walter Townsend,
Yeah.
and Roger Whitley.
Boy. It's left of the man.
Yes. Mr. Mayor?
I think we can. Look at the first of the year as reestablishing a youth government services committee. With a council person that may wish to take on that role, so on this particular question, I vote yes, to keep it solved.
Okay.
Now, other camera. We've all heard, Max discussing the lumber camera, project. We've had lots of input from the county. And, emergency people. And in the two meetings we had, meeting we had with emergency, service, Mr. Slister last week, town minister, and I, chief, and 911 head. We bounced this question around and the consensus of that group was that there's nothing's in place already. So you've all heard Josh's proposal and call for a motion to either go forward with this project or kill it.
I make a motion that we go forward with this project.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
And now we have discussion on that.
I'm just gonna say this, I had a chance to talk to Chief this week. And actually last week, and. I voted, that we would talk about it, but I don't favor that we do it at the moment, and. Nothing against you, Jack, this, actually, I was for you, but. there's been a number of tricky situations that we need to be careful with our safety officers, and I know that Jack, you're working with them, which is great. And I think from what I understand, we already have a weather camera, and it would take. That's really, we would be duplicating something that we don't need. And I don't think that's a wise use of our communicating with.
Who is monitoring that information?
Who
What is the?
is the difficulty? Who monitor the current weather station?
It's some.
State agency, right?
Yeah, it's a state agency.
Any state agency.
That no, that's national.
No,
Edom.
And there's one. on
What is
top
it?
of The tower down by the river that gives you the.
Okay, I know that, I know the one in.
what is the agency, Jeff?
National Weather Service.
National Weather Service is the one who's monitoring it.
And it has, whether, the one on six, Edom.
What's that?
Had a camera.
Weather
It does
station.
not.
It is not.
It
Virginia, what
monitors the weather,
management?
but it does not have-
Virginia Emergency Management is the state level. Okay, you're welcome.
I support a great project for Jack to work on and to expand upon our weather monitoring. We're not monitoring our own camera, and that's okay, we're not experts. But I think that Jack kind of goes in that direction, and I think I would like to see him do that. You know, we're still a small town, right? I would like to support him in this effort. He is putting up a lot of money out of his own, not for profit, and I think that that is an enormous thing to be for this town. So I'm not worried one way or the other. If we do it or don't do it, I'm just telling you why I'm voting yes.
The only question I have is, whether. This camera, this weather camera. What can this camera do that the one that's always down at the Birdlands cannot do?
There's no camera at boat landing.
No, it's
There's no
moved.
camera at boat landing.
Okay, so they just have a camera.
It's a-
So
it's
basically,
digital.
you say one has a camera.
So basically sets the scale, that, when water goes put down, makes a graph onto the National Weather Service's water level. On website, that's the only thing that's down there, there's no other camera that's down there. Besides, that's the graph for water levels.
So do you have a camera?
There's a gauge, basically it's a gauge,
A cage.
that's all it is.
You don't have a place to mount it, do you?
That's the next phase, phase one's get. Through you guys first, before we go back to phase two.
Well, I thought you had permission to work with the,
I probably said no, and just looking, said no.
why?
Signing right,
I was like, we're having that.
No, that's for security cameras, so like water, monitor the water pumping. That's all it does down there? Yeah,
That's
why it's just-
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe
That's
we need a statement from this organization saying what they do, and what they, with the data and what they're monitoring. I don't think that's unreasonable. I would like to know that, just so that we know whether he can give us more information, but you all know I'm a fan of Jack, and I want him to have some good projects. He doesn't have to be a detriment to town. I just thought that this sounded.
Emergency vehicle from Albemarle, and our local emergency vehicle last week, it was unanimous that we don't need. Watch.
And I think that version that. The passengers, that they don't need it.
Town said they didn't need it, the county said we didn't need it.
We would like to
That's
vote.
fine.
And again, I agree with you in the sense we want to be supportive of you, Jack, and the initiatives of this particular one is. One that does, at least for me, I can't support, but there are many other things that can happen.
I just think he's very creative about what he does, and then he can find some real additions, but.
The other point is, you don't have to have this one, it's okay to have, you never back up, anything, if something goes wrong. Well, it's just weather, so it's
Okay.
more information, right?
Well, the,
Would you like me to call?
Okay, motion is, should we go forward this project or not?
Molly Angevine,
yes,
Alex Bissett,
No.
Dan Gritsko,
No.
Bill Heisen,
Yes.
Walter Townsend,
No.
Roger Whitley.
No.
All right.
And just like, I'm gonna say this one more time, Jack, this is not a vote against you, this is just a vote against this particular project.
Okay.
Amount of it, mayor said it's not ready.
Right.
You could be vote.
Yeah.
Alright, item D, I'll turn it over to the tax administrator to explain appropriation ordinance.
Welcome.
So, the last meeting, the work session that we had, Mr. Bowling, told us that we had to adopt the annual appropriations for the town of Scottsville. And that's what the document is, in front of you. The numbers are what was taken from the approved budget. And this gives us, the town, permission to move forward and spend, funds for what was approved by you all.
So you passed the budget and it's just saying, okay, we passed it, now it's okay to spend it.
Yes.
So do we do that for all ordinances, or is it just this one?
This is from my understanding, Mr. Bowling said that this is required
This is
for the budget.
required for-
Yes.
What about the noise ordinance that we made, that you voted on? Has that been passed over to? No. Has it been passed over to Alamo County is all I was asking.
I don't know that it
I
would
don't-
be passed over to Albemarle County and why. I'm not following your question.
You mean, has it been like posted to Municode or?
I don't know what that is. I wouldn't be asking about that.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's
so-
okay. I mean, I am asking, have we finished with the ordinances that we've made with the lessons? That's all.
So far as I know.
So I don't know, or a no, then don't worry.
I move to approve the appropriations ordinance.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All for the vote?
Yes, sir. Molly Angevine,
Yes.
Alex Bissett,
Yes.
Dan Gritsko,
Yeah.
Bill Heisen,
No.
Walter Townsend,
Yeah.
Roger Whitley.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, the only thing I add to anything I may have stated at the work session is that I did attend those two meetings, the Fourth of July after action meeting. Great number of people who were involved with planning, execution of Fourth of July plan. And also with Ron Switzer, the new CCC, is he? That was the back five.
What's that?
Switzer, what's Switzer's exact title?
Which one?
Switzer.
Oh, he's the county emergency coordinator for our county.
County Emergency Coordinator.
Executive.
Yeah, nice one, man. Brought all the powers that be in the 9/11 blast with him, and we had a good discussion about emergency preparedness. That's all. Down the third.
I was looking up something, about the Government Services Committee, the minutes, and they were talking about that, they wanted to make sure the town's assets will remain in Scottsville to benefit the town and not be dispersed to Albemarle County. Examples including the monies in the checking account, police and fire department equipment, towns, buildings, et cetera. It's actually in the Code of Virginia how that plays out. If you want to look it up, it's 15.2-3701. And that talks about an agreement is required if the town wanted to start dissolution proceedings. But it specifically talks about that the county transfers all the town's revenue, services, facilities, real and personal property, and other assets plus debts due to the town to the county in exchange for the county assuming the town's debts. So that's the discussion in those minutes is not entirely correct. And then there's also code 15.2-3708 that talks about the transfer of property and how it goes about with the effective date of the annulment, so it's not even viable to say that you're gonna keep the town's assets or debts.
Okay, didn't we decide that you didn't need to make sure that everything was okay and that their minutes were just their minutes, or?
I was just conveying what the Code of Virginia says.
Yeah, you were good at that. I appreciate it. I just don't know why you talked to us about that.
In the event that someone thinks that the town can keep all their money if the town decides to dissolve,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
it's clarification.
Okay.
That's all.
Can I ask you a question, just related to, so as Council Hudson mentioned earlier, there was some citizen discussion and also an email about the signs, you know.
Yes. Mhm.
Do you have an update on where we are? And I think if we would like those done, I know we had you updated before, it'd be good for us to see, do you know what's up on them?
Right. So as I shared with you all, my response to the gentleman that had made an inquiry, I contacted a fabricator that's out of Farmville. And they can make the slate signs. So I'm supposed to send them measurements of the existing signs and pictures of what we have. But as I pointed out, the one that was on the Buckingham side is in storage, so it's not laying on the ground over there. The support, I guess they look like telephone poles to me. Those support poles are leaning somewhat. I did ask them if they could fabricate some type of support system, probably with a concrete footer or gravel footer would be my guess. But I have not received that yet.
I'm gonna ask you a question, since you know that area more than I do. You don't wanna see me just on something like that. Can you give her some input, just for some advice, or in other words, we want to see them done, you have more expertise, isn't that more something you would know, you do it too?
I'm good, I just want to make sure it's something that the town is okay with, so maybe if someone brings a design forward, or I gotta be honest, I haven't gone out to admit, is the slate broken from on there?
Oh, okay, so the Buckingham one is fine. It's not there, but it's fine.
It's one of the two.
Yes, that's the one that's from Buckingham. The one up here at the bank is still in place. That's the one that was run over, and anyway, it's broken into pieces.
Okay.
The one that's out here towards Fluvanna, it's intact and it's standing, but it's also leaning because of the soil subsiding underneath, because there's most likely no concrete or gravel underneath that. No, the company that their employee ran into that, I had a conversation with, and he said that they would pay for it. But I don't know how much that's gonna cost. And then, but there is a police report. Chief Jenkins did a police report, and I think that he found out all the insurance information.
And so you're gonna get some estimates and whether you're supposed to replace the ones that you
Yes.
I think they're nice signs. That's what we produce.
How long do you think it might be before we actually see the signs up there?
I don't have an answer for
What's
that.
the council's priority for those signs, the one up there?
The one that's coming from.
I don't want to Charles.
Well, I just think, what fix the easier one? Is there?
Why don't you take Buckingham and put it over there at the bank? That's what I'm saying.
Let me make the suggestion that, now, as a, if I'm fixing something, if you would say that, you're gonna fix the, yeah, maybe we can get that, maybe fix that one. Get it so it's fixed, and then do the other one, it's, whatever the quickest you do that, I think Council Randy on is good question.
Let's meet tomorrow then.
Well, I'm just saying that we've been talking about this for a long time. It hasn't moved forward.
And we want to go forward.
Yeah, we look at that.
Especially the insurance.
I would too. That would be
Especially
great.
because people are very sensitive.
Oh, sure.
You know, they're like, I don't even see it. town side, you know?
What sign were you talking about? Because,
The one at the back is the most important.
The one.
No, they were saying,
Oh, yeah.
the easy one first,
See the fix, yeah.
fix it, get it up,
Stabilize.
and then you can, so he'll work on that one, but if you get the estimates on the other one.
okay,
We can
Because
get tomorrow and then.
Councilman Whitley suggested to take the one that's in storage that was on the Buckingham side and install it over here at the bank.
They owe us a new sign.
They do
Yeah.
owe us a new
And
sign.
if we do something on cheap, they still owe us.
Right,
Right.
Your sign.
right.
Even if we.
All right, but
Make it work.
Tomorrow.
Well, that's great, thank you guys.
And thank you to the citizens for, again, please, as you see things, it's helpful in moving us along.
In there, in the, committee of the board of planning commission reports to talk about.
No.
Everybody expressed on that at the work session. And 2 items that you added to the agenda, if you need to do anything on that.
No, I just thought to bring up for discussion at the next work session a little bit. I think any.
So we can add those in
that-
addition to whatever Molly wants to add to the next.
all public meetings would have minutes. And it should be posted on the website. I think particularly the ARB and the plan, I haven't seen them updated for a while.
They haven't met.
I think just for transparency, we should have every meeting. Noted and every minute, I think they don't have to be as good as previous minutes, but you know, just
The council's.
basically, I just think that people ask, say, what about on Parks Committee, what about on government service, what about on ARB?
Mhm.
And you can't find it, you don't know what's going on, so we do, the town council is important, but I think that can't be the only. That's the first issue, the second issue, I do think we need to get some really, somebody in here to really explain our financials, monthly. And if we've got a new committee or a new, company that's doing our profit loss, I don't think profit loss is very accurate, not accurate, but very, explanatory, because, uncategorized expenditures, but I think we need to. Somebody explain it to us so we can get our budget back in order for next year, it's way ahead of time.
I have a question. And I don't really know how to ask it, because I think that it might. I wanna know whether the financials, if they're not being disclosed due to like legal reasons.
what financials?
A budget versus actual.
Until the chart of accounts is updated, I think that is impossible, but that's.
I don't believe that it's impossible. I think you can run a report that gives you data.
I've been running reports that give you
They're
data.
different from what
but
you've been
the profit
receiving.
and Loss and the balance sheet.
I know that the financial, well,
And then I was asked to make sure that I provide quarterly. I think Mr. Townsend had brought that up initially
we
To-
haven't talked about.
to provide that to you all.
And if you do monthly, you don't need.
No, it would be better. We can look at the budget overall quarterly. I just wanna see it monthly.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like do a review or?
Yeah, that's separate,
That's a monthly, do if it's possible, I know this is now the first month of the
It's
fiscal year.
evidently not
So
possible.
if it's possible to see the monthly expenses, say in August, or
Mhm.
July,
Mhm.
see how we're tracking,
Yes.
alright, would that be okay?
Yeah.
And I think the goal was, when Councilman Townsend mentioned it, is to do the quarterly review. Because you want-
That's
so sorry.
That's actually, I thought we were in agreement.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
Right, so
That's fine.
Yeah.
So monthly reports beginning in August.
right, we haven't even finished our first month of the first.
Next month, we should.
year
we
yet.
expect to see, like, well, I think spending it on payroll then.
Right, in August.
All right,
I would think it would be hard to do June.
Well,
Well, that's the.
it's a different fiscal year.
oh, you can't run reports from another fiscal year. I mean, these are the questions that make me, you know, I don't know that maybe you understand all of it, or I don't know what your financial background is. But it's just, I want to know what we spent in June.
Okay, so
Read that one.
we are in the new fiscal year,
Uh-huh.
right?
And
We
you
all
know
agree
what
on
it's
that.
about. This month is over.
Right, this is July.
Okay.
So then when we meet in August, you'll see July's information. As I've been,
Versus actual or just the profit loss and
budget,
balance.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
And the previous fiscal year, as you know, and as I've said numerous times, because of all the uncategorized expenses and the revenues that were coming in that weren't kept, we are still working on reconciliation of that.
I don't know how long it takes. I was willing to help you.
Okay, big word, now, story, but
Can we get that?
But don't just count me, please. I really,
But every
I
time
don't
you get
have
one
that.
community, you wanna throw something onto the face.
No, I'm not trying to.
Disorder.
Well, you know, I speak here. I was elected as well, not just January.
Really, and try to be nice.
I'm never so worried that they
Oh, it's just down there, what's the right, it's the license. Like it, structural cards.
Well, you know what, because I'm
Okay.
disappointed because. I mean, I came in here, nobody talked to me about what I needed to do, Dan, you've been very helpful. But it's just, you all are not at all collaborative, you don't wanna talk about anything, you're angry all the time. And yes, I'm angry too, I'm disappointed this whole year. Cause I mean, this whole 6 months or whatever,
I wanted to ask you real quick.
if I'm solving this thing,
I did a kind of council,
yeah.
you had on that, and you request to react to basically about the financial stuff. We asked her about it, and then at the same time, you come out and say, well, I look like the financial, I can come and help you. When I hear you say that, what I got in my perception is you're asking her to provide you with something. But you're not too sure to be able to provide it for you, and you're gonna say, let me show you how to provide it for you.
No, I
She's not that-
don't over anything. I just was gonna be allocate
You
these.
know, get it, I mean, before you accuse that to get angry, you just sat up here earlier telling me that I would talk to different people.
You do have.
Wow. No, Bob,
I do.
Bob, let me tell you something. I've been in this town almost 55 years, I've been in this town longer than anybody in that town.
Discount.
I know everybody, I grew up with people know who I am. So when I was walking somewhere, there's nobody to took care of what is who I am, they know who I am. They're trying to talk to me. So now,
What's your point?
now, what my point is that when someone sits up here, one back, and accuses me of talking to a small group of people, and it's incorrect, I'm gonna set them straight, let them know what I will do, that's what my point is.
I mean,
How much you gonna-
Yeah.
It's been voted that we adjourn as well.
Let's.
I don't agree with that.
All in favor?
uh,
Or-